Hello Teacher Fam, this is Marilyn Brown from Teach Marilyn B-Style, and I wanted to talk to you today about word families, specifically segmenting and blending word families. So let me back up here and talk just a little bit about a few things, because if you are not a classroom teacher or you didn't teach primary grades, let's just review basic stuff here. So CVC words, if you see this in teacher instructions, curriculum, etc., means consonant, vowel, consonant, and these words are typically short vowel words and easy to blend as a student is learning phonics. So I'm not going to read these to you. Obviously, you can read them yourself. You'll often see CVC words. Why is that so hard to say? Oftentimes, you will notice that CVC words are grouped together by word family. So let me prep my whiteboard here. Hang on. Whether you are a primary teacher, a tutor, or an online ESL teacher, you are going to need to know about the onset and rhyme of a word. And no, I did not misspell rhyme. This means the word part that comes after the very first sound. So the very first sound of any word is its onset. And then the rest of the word, all the other sounds combined, is the rhyme. This does not necessarily have to do with the spelling of the word. It's actually easy to remember what this is because the rhyme of a word rhymes in a word family. Okay, so in this word family, it is the ot word family. We have got, lot, taught, and not, but you can see that I've segmented them into their parts. But how do you teach this? Especially in the online classroom. There are a ton of amazing resources for in-person tutoring or classroom tutoring, whether it's large group or small group, but what do you do when you're working through a computer screen? It's a lot harder to say, okay, let's create a foldable together, or here, take this set of worksheets or booklets and let's create a flip book. You can't do that when you're not with the student in person. So I have two simple strategies for segmenting and blending words that hopefully will help you simplify and not overthink this process. The first thing I would recommend doing is not worrying about these categories. That's for you. You're the educator. You need to know what the onset and rhyme are. And when they're upper level students and they're still continuing to work on and refine their phonics, then you can teach them those words. But for a beginner student, they don't need to know the word onset or rhyme. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about segmenting and blending and how I would teach this word family that I showed you just a moment ago. Typically in the online classroom, you would already have a lesson that is planned for you. So on the slides, they will have a series of words and they may be segmented like I just showed you. So the onset G plus sign OT equals got, right? You could write all of that out. What I like to do is write the entire word together with this little symbol underneath it. The little dot represents the onset, so the very first sound, and I want them to stop there. So g, 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 ot, g, ot, got. For a direct instruction, I would simply have the student repeat after me. I would isolate the first sound, t, t, t. Then I would segment and say the rest of the word, the rhyme, t, ot. Then I would do them in succession, ot, taught, ot, ot, lot. I would obviously leave more room for them to repeat after me, and then I would allow them to try other words on their own, whether they're on the slide or they're extra words within that same word family. What I also do when my whiteboard is being used for other things is I just hold up my hands. And I've seen a lot of teachers do this. This is really good for any classroom for rapid fire segmenting and blending because it shows there are two parts that are separated and then you blend them together. So you would circle a word and then g, ot, got. Circle the next word. T, ot, taught. Circle the next word. And they get so used to doing that they know exactly what you mean when you do this and you don't say anything. You circle the word and you just hold your hands up and they're ready to go. Because that's actually educational TPR, or total physical response, where you teach a student an action that goes along with what you're learning. So if they're learning phonics and you give them these movements, then they will associate these movements with segmenting and blending. The point is that you want them to understand and know is that these word parts, when said together and blended into one word, create one fluid word with each separate sound. I hope these two strategies help you to simplify your instruction. Let me know what you do. If you're an online teacher, what is your strategy? Do you have a video? Link it below. If you are a classroom teacher, I would love to see your strategy and see how I can adapt it to the online classroom. I'm very interested in that. I'm also going to link a few printables for the online community if that is what floats your boat, because I know a lot of teachers love having a physical thing to show in different classes. I'm honestly not organized enough to have all the different printables for all the different word families, so I try to keep it a little more simple with the whiteboard and the hands. I hope you found these strategies helpful. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Happy teaching!